Good night, folks. Welcome again to Mike and Mike. We're delighted that you taking the time out to join us, and please share, like, and subscribe. That would help us and help the channel to grow. And as I said, please share and you can also comment, even though you're not here on the panel, but you can comment once this video is up and make your statement or add your 2 cents based on what we are talking about and so forth. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. We have some things we need to talk about from the political side, financial side, technology side, and maybe some of the fitness side, but we'll see where things go. But we are delighted that you're here with us one more time on Mike and Mike. But without any ado, our panel is Prime Minister Khalees Angel in the house with us. And AKA Trump, baby Trump, Mike, AKA, and myself is Mike. See, even Khalees get it down back.
Justin, come back, man.
Yes.
Unfortunately, King Tox is not here. He'll be back on the 17th with us. So he would be, we're looking forward to go ahead with our bulldog, head-on-head, bull cow, and yeah. Anyway, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into one of the things I've seen on the platform, and I don't know, this guy, which is his dad, I don't know, he playing some Russian roulette. So, for instance, what he's doing now, he's planning to revoke anyone who has a green card or citizenship that's coming from China.
Revoke the citizenship?
Yes, revoke. What if you have, whether is you're here on a school visa, you have a green card, or you have some type of citizenship where you convert your and become naturalized citizen. His intent, that's specifically China, his intent to revoke.
Would that be legal to just target?
Right now. They presented it and the court already. The judge already sent signal to him that this is impossible. This cannot be done. So they look like they're knocking it down, but he's still digging the corners to see what. Like for instance, he going with that. There was a thing where they can evict individuals from this country without going through the process. They was using this 1960 something where the Congress had implemented, I forgot the term, but it's usually like when the president can override, but it needs to be in a certain structure before he do that. He's trying to apply the same using that same principle, and the judge said no, that only works in a specific way. I forgot how they laid out, and so he's trying to use that as a tool to keep on deporting people and stuff like that without going through the process, going through the court process or going through the regular process. So I don't know.
Elon is off the panel.
And Elon, he jumped off the panel, yes, because he won. I think he's getting a lot of kickbacks when it comes to his company. His stock is falling down. He's like, I think he's like at 290 something billion. So he was up there at 5 something, and then all of this stuff he was doing, his Doge stuff he was doing with Trump, it just started dropping fast. So I guess he realized that, and he said, hell with politics, I think he was probably thinking that it was going to go the other way. But unfortunately, it seemed like it's going south for him. So I guess he has to step out and go focus off how to bring back up his revenue and get back up his company up on top.
Right. He's a lot more vocal about his stance against the current administration as well, the Trump administration.
The funniest thing and this is what bugs me out, he talks about Trump now, like in a negative way, but more of a political, polite way, if you know what I'm saying.
I just always saying that disagreeing is normal. And if he disagrees with something and he openly voices his opinion, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But again, at the same time, it's not only because
it was never that critical.
it's not only because his term like they expired because Trump was extending it. But the problem is that where he started stepping away, especially the big, beautiful bill.
Right. I mean,
they were disagreeing. They were disagreeing in policy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Most people disagree with that within the party.
Yeah, within this party, there's a lot of a lot of people are disagreeing with him. But and this is the thing what I was keep on sharing. He has people along with him where he hire or he assigned to position to guide him into certain things or give them 2 cents.
Right.
And he's throwing all of that through the window.
No, so you have different people who's assigned to different things, right? Like Elon was assigned to Doge. Then you have what's his name, Bassett, who's assigned to this trade stuff and international affairs. So you have different department and they are assigned different things. So Elon disagreed with this tariff thing, right?
Because it's affecting him.
Right. Not just that, it's affecting a lot of people. It's affecting Amazon, it's affecting a lot of people, business.
All the big investors.
All his big colleagues.
Right. But whoever was assigned to that department to advise the president is doing so based on their knowledge of how things should be. But it doesn't mean that because he's doing that, Elon has to agree. You know? So
right,
disagreeing is normal.
Yeah,
right,
but
disagreeing is normal, but once you start going out there against the...
No, you're not going out there against anyone. So a reporter asks you your opinion on something, and you give
Right,
them an
but
honest.
you shouldn't be that expressive, especially if you want to further the agenda of the administration that you're a part of.
That's being hypocritical though, because even Candace Owen, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's for Trump,
Right.
Candace,
right? But whenever she disagrees with something,
she go hard
she
with it. Yeah,
expresses-
she expresses
that.
Right. If we're all a part of something, we might disagree on something internally, but it might never get out there.
I understand what you're saying. It
So-
should be an internal disagreement,
Right.
But
So it's a whole new escalation with that.
But so people who are far right, they're normally like transparent, right?
Far right means there's Republican,
Right.
hmm like you're on the Republican side. Far
Correct.
right,
Conservative.
conservative.
Yeah. So they're normally like transparent. Like if something is not right, they want everyone to know. Listen, this is not right, and I don't agree with this. This is not what I voted for. So I'm saying versus I guess the left or the Democrats.
They stick together. in cahoots.
Right. Even when it's wrong.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Right.
But the thing what I was more focused on is what I was trying to express is that his people are his guideline folks that he assigned to say, okay, you know what, I'm going down this path. It doesn't matter what structure, whether they're doing turfs, whether they're doing budgeting, whether they're doing infrastructure building, whether they do whatever. I mean, revamping,
Yeah,
whatever the department
Whatever
is.
department,
They have this main guy that oversees and give him guidelines.
Right.
Right.
So you have that individual who's sharing with him and say, hey, you know what? This big, beautiful bill at the end of the day is not, whatever.
Well, it's cracked
And
up.
he's throwing that to the window. He's like, I don't want to hear anything from his advisor. I would put it that way.
No, he didn't put this together. No, you have to understand. He's like the CEO of the company, and the company is America. He didn't put this bill together.
Then who put it together? Then?
Whoever is in charge of doing that.
I think he's
thought
the
he
one
did.
he's the one who put these things together. And then he sent it to these people to either agree with it or run with it or whatever.
So whenever we take corrective action against someone, right?
Okay.
Let's say it's a 14-day suspension.
Right.
We need a concurrent official
Right.
to sign off on that, right?
Right.
So that would
A
be
higher up.
right. So that would be the president. All he
Right.
does is just sign off on these things,
Right.
right? And you would say to Mike, let's say Mike is the higher up. You would say to Mike, so and so did so and so, and this is the corrective action. We're gonna issue him a 14-day
Right.
suspension, right?
Mhm.
But Mike didn't do that. He just signed off on it because he needs to,
Right.
right? Because he needed a
He gets to
So but isn't
so,
that
so that's
dangerous then?
Trump
Because
position.
someone
it creates a
can
No,
write.
balance.
no,
It creates
no,
a balance.
right. So remember, he's in this position to do that. You're just here to oversee it. So you're his supervisor.
Mm,
You get it? So Trump would be the supervisor for um,
right, but if I mean, unless, even though he's the one who's signing off, unless he still go through the logistics of whatever that bill. Look, when he came into office, how many bills he signed off?
a lot.
A lot. He created history. So I'm saying, for him, is it that he sits there and just sign things without going through it? Because somebody in power or somebody of his administration
Right.
could create some type of a crap bill because they have some hatred towards something and slip it in, and he just go on the
No,
or
it
Right.
happened.
That
It
is
happened.
why the extra step is necessary, where it has to be vetted by the higher up.
Right.
right. But that's what I'm saying. So he goes through all of this, right?
Oh, Trump.
Trump, right?
course.
Because he's the higher up.
So you would have like an assistant who would do this thing for you,
Of course.
and they would be there in that department going through whatever needs to be going through. Because you're not gonna really be shady like that and hide stuff from the president. You could get in trouble for that,
Not well. I don't know. I mean, if you know that the president is not going into a direction where the public agrees with, or even his own administration agree with. I mean, you have cooing, right? You know that,
Yeah,
right?
what? Yeah, what?
Cooing, when they'll try to overthrow the government.
Okay. Mhm.
So one of the things where if a government or a president decide that they don't want, they're not supporting the direction where the president is going, they're gonna come together as a body and either keep him out of certain things until
you do have that. It's 3 branches of government.
correct.
Right. So you do have that.
Right, but they're not gonna. I mean, it's not like if, for instance, impeachment.
3 branches of government.
Right. So if they want to get rid of the
Okay.
government, they have to impeach him. They
Right,
want
that
the
would be
president,
the-
but they can't hide it. That's not something that they hide.
Right.
So, like little things, yes, they can say, you know what, we're gonna make this decision. We just mass certain things in the same documentation. He's just gonna read the surface of it and signed off, and then I have my agenda, where either I'm gonna fight against gay, or I'm gonna blow up Iraq, or I'm gonna cut off England, or
Right.
whatever crap my intentions are, my motives are. I mean, I can create that bill and put it embedded the real meaning
Right.
or the purpose of it
Right,
in the
but-
middle of it. Now he just read the service. It's just like a fine print. You know, you're gonna read. Oh, that's
No,
good. That's
right
good.
here.
No,
As
but like
he's
Mike,
signing off on
like,
it.
like Mike said, there are 3 branches of government too.
Uh,
So each branches has, their process or what they do. You got the legislative branch, you got the executive branch, and then you got the judicial branch,
Mhm.
which makes up the Constitution.
Correct.
So no one person get to have so much
Power,
power.
right.
Increase the
But
balance,
in,
right?
in
Makes
it,
sense?
so so at the end of the day is that you're saying now that within his administration, you think this has to pass to all 3 branches?
No, it does. It would be the judicial, because you're talking the laws
Correct.
at that point. You understand? But they are.
But that's to
people-
say that's coming back to case in point. How many things Trump has passed where the law in itself, judges have to reject him because he didn't follow,
Yeah, you have
or
to go
his
to-
administration
most of the
didn't
stuff has to go
follow
to
the right
Congress.
protocol because they were doing something in contrary
So when he
to
signs
what
off on it, it goes to Congress, and Congress votes on it, and the
Yeah.
majority wins.
some
right?
of them he don't
Certain
have to
things,
go to
certain
Congress.
things.
He
It
just
depends.
sign off on it and his law.
Right.
Some things.
That's why
and
a lot
some
of, that's
have to
why
go
a-
to the Congress.
That's why some people, right? That has to do with laws, though. I don't think it has to do with like individuals. Like you just up and yanking individuals, send them overseas. Like how did that happen? They talk about some administrative error.
That's bologna and cheese.
I didn't want to say it like that. That's bologna and cheese.
That's bologna and cheese. I don't know where they're
What a
coming
nice
from
way to
with
put
that.
something.
I don't know. Well, so the next thing in plan is Trump paused. He planned to pause thousands of student loans because remember he was about to cut student loans where he's not getting student loans and Social Security. He was planning to cut that and so right now he paused it. I don't know. I guess he was getting pressure from the legislative and the judges and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, and that's the point. What I'm making earlier on is like these guys. I think they just make up stuff as they go based on their own edict. Because if they were in line with the three government constitution, legislation, they wouldn't have these problems where judges are rejecting them. Tell them that they are breaking the law literally. This is not how the Constitution works. Yeah, you're jumping the gun. This is not how the Constitution works. So if it was passing through the proper channel, by them looking on the signing off,
that's also a channel too. Remember, you have three branches of government. So if the judges are shutting it down, that's a channel that has to go.
But it shouldn't even reach to the judge. That's what I'm saying.
Why not?
It shouldn't reach to the judge if it's passing through the correct. Because remember,
but that's a fact. It should, because the stuff is pretty much set in stone. If you're able to read the laws, then you're able to apply it. Because every now and then they make a decision and then it gets reversed. Why did they have to go that far before you get?
And that's what I'm saying. So if it's passing through the three system, or when it's law, which is when they're making law, when it's passing through the
legislative.
Yeah, the legislative, right? Mm-hmm. So if they were following all protocols, it shouldn't reach to the judge desk where the judge said, "Hell no, this is unconstitutional. This can't go anywhere." It should pass through the appropriate system, where the appropriate system now would look and say,
they could be just making up a new law, and the legislators, they decide and if they're going to approve of it or not. Because they do that, right? They're legislators.
Yeah, but it's still passing to them. So, and it reaches into the judge.
No,
Judge is the second.
So when he signs off on it, he says, okay, this should be so and so. It goes to the Senate, right? And then they decide over there, okay, all who in favor, aye, and who's not in favor, hey. So we get it. We're trying to write new rules and new laws. It's a process. We do this all the time.
You always tell me.
No, not everything I agree with. I don't agree with everything. Don't get me wrong, right? Most things I disagree with. Certain things I don't care for, and other things I understand. I can't disagree with everything everyone does. That's what I'm saying. Most things I understand. So a co-worker of mine made a decision, a personal decision today. I didn't agree with it, but I understand, right?
You didn't agree, but you understand. You might want to enlighten me on that one.
The co-worker,
yeah, enlighten me.
Give a little more context with that. Okay.
The co-worker of which I speak.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, very vaguely, yes.
Right. So, I don't know.
No, he withdrawn.
I said, I don't agree with it, but I understand. I would have taken a different approach.
They're just under pressure.
Yeah.
It's under pressure.
He's just under pressure.
Yeah, but the thing is that every now and then, like a bill get made, and then it's struck down, like what's called it gets vetoed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing. What I'm saying, it shouldn't reach to the point where I can understand where the department itself, legislation department itself, or branches would shut it down. That is a fair, and that's how it should work. Mm-hmm. But when it reaches to the point where a judge is shutting it, that means it's gone too far.
Yeah, because he's a Democrat.
No, it's his own. Look, the same thing where he accidentally said he forgot or it slipped him by getting rid of evicting those guys from the country.
Oh yeah.
His own boys, his own judge who he put in power is the one
If you're
who.
wrong, you're wrong, right?
Right, but you're saying that the Democrats. So how that
No, I
come
said
in?
maybe, I don't know. I'm saying if you're wrong, you're wrong.
His
If you're
own
wrong,
boy.
yo, they're not gonna get this thing right, right? It's like a practice.
Trial and error.
Right, it's like a practice,
Trial and error
The
with
lawyer
with
practice
people's-
law, the doctor practice medicine. It's a practice.
I don't know, man, but this
With
is.
people's livelihood.
Hmm?
There you go.
You can't be playing games with people's livelihood.
Exactly. You can't be playing games with people's lives, lifestyle, people's in financial infrastructure. You can't be playing games like that. I mean, a lot of people out there are suffering. And then the thing is now, coming back to another point too, where he's putting, he's still going hard with this turf on now steel and lumber. Is it steel and lumber? Or steel and metal or something of that. So I think it's two
He
items.
said
But
steal a medal.
some item. There's
I'm
some.
sorry, I should be laughing.
There's something. No, there's something
That-
about
that would be
steel,
the
and
combination,
there's
though.
something else with has. I mean, yes, obviously steel is still metal, but at the same, I guess it's two type of metals. The
Right.
two different type of metals. I mean, one is hardcore steel, and one is aluminum or something of that. But either way, he's still pushing that, where he's pushing for this to still to go live, which that's gonna attack Europe, which that's gonna also attack maybe a little bit Canada, and who else is gonna be involved? I think China is also. I mean, heavily is gonna be involved. So I don't get it. And then he also quote unquote, he claimed that he's going to initiate the tariff again on China. Reason being because China break the rules. So the China government came on and said,
Violated the trade
yeah,
agreement.
the
They're
China
saying-
came out
they're
and said,
saying you
this
was
is a
violating the trade
lying
agreement.
bastard. I didn't do such thing. So you don't really know who. To be honest with you, the way I know Trump is, I would lean towards the Chinese government
You're
who's
always leading
probably
towards China.
speaking the truth
You need to move.
compared to Trump. This
You need to
man
move
lied.
to China.
This man lied within a none of a second for the entire
He's also
24 hours.
transparent, and he tells
Transparent
you
with
everything
what?
that he's going to do.
How lying is transparent?
Huh?
How lying is
No,
transparent?
you're saying he's a liar. I'm not saying
He is.
I'm disagreeing with you.
How you disagree? So
mean,
you
no.
don't believe that he never lie?
Everyone lies.
Yes, I know, but you are backing him that he never lied, and I'm telling you that they did.
I'm bothered. He
No
just
such
skipped
thing.
over what he just asserted that everybody lies. He just stated that factually everybody lies.
Yes, everybody lies, but you have pathological liars.
Right.
Trump is one of them.
People who
No,
do
no,
habitual.
but-
You have people who lie, and you have people who, I don't know, I mean, not even using the word pathological
So what
lie.
if Trump lies? China don't lie. People from China, they don't lie.
I'm not
The
saying
Chinese
everybody in
government
the
don't lie?
world lie. Everybody in the
Right,
world lie.
but you're trying to back China and not the U.S.
No, I am.
If you have to pick between two liars, Chinese government and U.S. government, who are you picking? Who you
the
choosing?
U.S. government.
All right, there you go.
Oh man, you want to keep his paperwork.
they're the one. They're the liars one.
That's a setup, you know. You see that? See how he's watching.
Smart guy. I like that. That was a clutch move, Mike.
They lied to us about a lot of things.
Very clever. Very
They
clever.
lied to us about COVID. They lied to us about a bunch of things.
They lied to us practically. I mean, the top secret list of
Allegedly,
what,
allegedly.
No, this is no allegedly. This
It's
is
a conspiracy.
This is raw born lies.
It's a
They get caught
conspiracy.
into several times. I mean, listen. As we declared before, that the U.S. government, everyone lies at the end of the day, but these guys take it to the next level of lying. I mean, even being a
How do we know they're lying?
When you tell your kids Santa exists, it's lying, no?
yeah. That's I mean,
I'm pretty certain not everybody tell their kids Santa exists.
but I mean, look. When you use the term, you ask the question, how do they know they lie? It's simple. They cross-reference to what is actually true. I mean, so for instance, if I tell you that, hey, you know what? I see Mike running down the block with his shoes in his hand. and you telling me the story, and I saw Mike running down the block with his shoes on.
Right.
I am going to debunk what you said, because what you're saying, you're spreading propaganda. And I'm correcting. I said, no, Mike had his 2 shoes on running down the block.
Right.
You come now and you probably want to fabricate, or maybe, some people, when you tell them, hey, you know what, I see Mike picking up my bottle. The next time the store reached down the block, I see Mike picking up the bottle, beating up this woman, shooting up this cops. By the time it reached to either Chicago, you have nuclear missile involved. Right. So these are the things. So at the end of the day, now I'm going to say, no, I saw Mike running down the block with his 2 shoes on.
She so bad.
That's how you can debunk it. But then again, now you're going to say, well, how do you know that I am speaking the truth?
Right. That's a fact. That's the great point.
I don't know. It's touchy, but people have certain things where, certain characteristic where, yes, you can write everything in stone still, but you have an attribute, or you have what do you say? What the word I'm looking for? You have brain freeze right now, but you have a certain character where people would take your word to a certain extent for gold. If you know what I mean. When I use the word take it for gold, meaning take it as a truth.
Right.
So, based on your character, if you lie a lot, people are not going to listen to you. People everything you tell people, they're like, this Negro is lying. Or this guy is lying.
Over time.
So, if Trump come and tell you, listen, run, there's a bull cow coming, what you would do?
Run.
They run, but that also, I think that's very, very... that's very relative. It all depends. Like Elon was in his initials, like stage of running Dodge or being a part of government. I'm pretty certain over time they're gonna know whether or not they need to like check him on certain things or not. Because over time you develop a history.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like if you said you're going to do something, if I'm certain that you're a consistent person, then I ain't got to check up on you to always make sure you're doing the right thing, because you already proved that level of consistency. You understand me?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when he say he disagrees with Trump, I keep saying he's not disagreeing with Trump. It would be like you're in charge of East, I'm in charge of South, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in charge of North. Trump is in the middle. He's our supervisor, right?
He in the main.
So he's in the main.
Yeah.
There you go. So you in the East say, this bottle of water should be halfway full, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, that don't make sense. Fill it all the way up. And I'm saying, fill it all the way up. So we disagree with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what it is. It's Elon disagreeing with whoever put that bill together, right? He disagrees with it. This trade war and tariff thing, he disagrees with it. Most people disagree with it.
But the thing is,
I disagree with it, but I understand why they're doing it.
Right. I think at
Isn't
some point you got to apply like a lot of discretions to say whether or not somebody lying or not.
But here's
if I tell you I'm gonna be there at 5:00 and I don't show up until 6:15, was I lying?
No, you probably
I made a prediction.
You probably run late. You're assuming the timing based on you, because remember, you don't control time. You are given an estimate and say, hey, I'm supposed to be there at 5:30.
Right.
Anything can happen on your way here.
Traffic.
You have traffic. Somebody could be shooting. Somebody could block off. The cops could block off the road doing spot checks. Right. You could have some accident on the main street. You could get a flat tire. You run out of gas. Anything could happen.
Right. Case in point, because the initial step, you might have had like very honest intention and forwardness about that. You've been honest, open. Mm-hmm. It didn't yield that type of outcome, doesn't mean that it was a lie. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff still got to be on.
Well, put it this way:
discretion.
A mission line is still line, right?
What?
A mission line is still line. So if I'm
If you unintentionally lie, you still lying. Like
a mission is basically if I see Mike walking down the block, slap somebody, and then walk to his car, whatever the case may be. No, I'm telling you the story, and I said, you know what? I see Mike, and he just walked to his car.
I didn't slap anyone.
I just left the part where he didn't slap anyone. That's omission line, where I withhold the
Maybe you
story.
didn't see that. Maybe
Yeah,
by-
but
No, but I'm saying if you mean this possibility, yes, this thing can happen where you
But
may
you
not see it,
understand
but
a
I'm
lie,
saying-
you could also say somebody lied knowingly and somebody lied unknowingly.
It's a touchy situation to say to prove that someone lied premeditatively or knowingly. That I mean,
knowingly, yes, but unknowingly.
in some cases you can tell that
Because
somebody.
if I didn't see the slap, I didn't see the slap. You know, I may see you walk past, right? I might have blinked when you.
Right.
That's so fast.
right, that's so fast.
Something fell and I was looking for it, right?
And then when
By
you
the
look
time
up-
turn around, you went in your car, and next thing you know, someone is holding there. Oh, I just got to that, but
Right.
you didn't see that.
Those are different circumstances, and true, those are reality as well. But at the same time, if I see that, where you slap and then I leave that portion out, and
Right,
just
that's
tell
why a
you,
lot of stuff
might
is
just
very-
walk to the
like,
car.
This stuff is very circumstantial. Like somebody break in a house because they just want to be malicious and rob people. Somebody breaking in the house because they want to go eat some food. I don't see people breaking the store and they just want
Right,
some
but they're hungry.
Yeah, they just want, they rather went in the store for sardine and bread.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Some other person has some really bad intentions. So when they go to court, when they have their day, it's not the same outcome. If those facts are established, you understand?
Yeah. I see now the other thing
So
too.
so we as being part of the public, at some certain point, we have to make our own determinations as well. We can't just
good.
be allowing ourselves to be fed all the time. You understand?
It's a touchy situation, but at the same time, it's I don't know where this thing going. And I think Elon left because at the end of the
Didn't
day,
leave. Time was up.
yeah. But remember, Trump.
Yeah.
Remember, listen. He's the one. I think I'm thinking, people. This is not facts or anything, because when his time was up in March, Trump extended it.
Right.
Right? Case in point. So Trump still could have extended it again.
He was going to instead.
And he's planning on extending it. Thank you also for adding that to it. Planning on extending. I think Elon, because of his anger and where they are, and I would agree with him to a certain extent, because they're trying to clean up the mess. And this man is creating this beautiful, massive bill again, which gonna put back, it's like they're gonna undermine all what they have done with this massive bill, with this massive, beautiful bill.
Right.
They already saved over 1.100 and something billion or trillion dollars. I think it's trillion or billion.
Yeah,
one of them.
At what expense, though? Does that mean that
And
the job cuts are over?
No, it is on and off. They on and off. They will fire people and they will
What's
bring
gonna
back
replace
people.
Dodge?
And it's. I don't know what the situation now with Dodge since Elon is going. I mean, what are they gonna dismantle the
No, it's still gonna be there.
the department? Are they gonna allow these little goonhead kids to still run it? Who's gonna in charge now? One of those
Who are the
psychopath
goon-
kids.
who are the
That's just,
Who are the goonhead kids?
These goonheads kids. I mean, that's what Elon hired. All of those
It's a
goonheads.
little defamatory, but okay. I don't agree, but I understand.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's a bunch of grown-ups in
Yeah, grown up, 25, 22, 18, 19.
you're a grown-up.
Yeah, they're young adults,
They
but at the
lack
same
experience. They lack
time.
experience.
Exactly.
No matter how much genius you got.
having these guys looking at your personal record. And then not only that, they have one of them, I think one or two of them, if I'm not mistaken, that had a conviction of them leaking government record.
Information.
Yes, information. And he still wind up working for the government. In the same, actually, in conjunction with the department where he leak out the stuff when they got convicted and get caught doing this stuff. I mean, you can't make this thing up. This is crazy.
Give the administration a chance. Man.
I'm giving them.
If you're leaking sensitive information, to
This
a
is
third
crazy.
party,
This guy, number one, should be in jail for like a next 5-10 years.
Right.
Because you
Don't
leak.
wish that on
they're
anyone.
sworn to secrecy for certain things.
I don't know. Maybe he might.
understand me?
He can't.
They,
I think he's.
they didn't
tradi-
have to swear in to be a part of Doge. There was no swearing in.
No, they didn't have to go through. I mean, they have to. They have some type of a little background check they still have to go through. But that one wouldn't. Whatever. I don't know. That wasn't gonna stop them from getting working within the department.
I mean, you gotta understand, they gotta get security clearance. So I'm pretty certain they have to be sworn in. They just don't give like random people like certain security clearance.
You know, they were doing it for free. They wasn't getting paid.
No.
It wouldn't matter. They
they-
still handling sensitive information.
Yes, and that's why it was a kickback, because the process how it happened, Elon was the one just grabbed whoever he thinks is appropriate or whoever he thinks is smart and just throw them in the department.
Right.
They didn't go through the process how it should go through, where you get sweared in, run background check, and all that stuff. This is why
And apply and wait.
this kid wind up in that position. And then when they found out his background, I mean, it was like kind of a high in Zion, where they like, this is crazy. You're gonna allow these kids with criminal records to look on my personal record, and who knows
Stop
what.
spreading false.
But that's what the case is.
Moving forward, right?
Yes,
But that's a
moving-
fact, though. That's actually a fact.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Please
though.
help
That's
him out,
actually-
because he's over there. I
Snap
think he's
benefits,
I think
snap
he, I
benefits.
think
Don't
he
be in
live on
denial.
a rock.
though. I mean,
Snap
He's in
benefits.
denial. He living on some rock.
Snap benefits.
per-
What is snap benefits? What is snap benefits? What is that?
Snap benefit is like
Like a supplement.
It's like a supplement thing where our
nutritional
welfare.
assistance.
Yeah, it
program.
helps.
what is it called?
Snap benefits. It helps
Supplemental
you.
nutritional assistant.
Oh, you're talking about the acronym? What stands for the acronym?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But it's something. Let me see. Snap.
Yeah. Supplemental nutrition assistant program. SNAP, right?
Yeah.
So basically what it does, it assists people who are less fortunate or who are in need with food, right?
Food and finance and money as well, because you
Money
get
also?
you get money also.
And who qualifies for that?
You will get, maybe depends on it. You probably could get, like, as my mom had it at one point when she was on leave or certain, like I think it was like
Is
maybe
that
a
food
6 month.
stamp? Is that the same thing?
It's kind of like food stamp, but you know they kind of give it a different name to me, as what they said. It's still a food stamp at the end of the day. So you would get like maybe $200, like how my mom was getting. She had like $200 in SNAP benefits, where you can use it to spend and buy groceries, and then you have like another $50 in cash where you can spend and use it on your card anywhere else. I think some places would allow you
What are
to
the
pull it off the
requirements?
card.
What's the requirements for that?
I guess
Right.
you have
So-
to
So
show.
they kind of changed it, right? So when you go to the supermarket and you see people with
Cards
two,
like
two
this.
cards, right? And that's what that is. You're coming out with
Out
like
of pocket, your debit.
you know,
Now they allow them to use
I don't
it
wanna laugh. I
because
shouldn't laugh.
it's certain things you used to could buy. Now it's actually almost everything now you can buy with it.
certain people can't get it. Like they say, if you're parents of children ages 7 to 17 must work 80 hours a month in order to qualify for SNAP benefits. So
That's not a lot of hours, though.
80 hours a month.
The average person is going to work 40 hours a week,
Right, which
Yeah,
is
but-
80 hours.
That's 80 hours for the month.
which is not a lot.
Right. It's what you say. It's not a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a lot. Right. So what they're saying is that for you to receive this benefit as a single mom, if you have a child, between the ages of 7 and 17, you have to work 80 hours a month
You have to work.
80,
in order to be
hours,
qualified.
80 hours a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think that should be based on hours. It should be based on income.
Yeah, I mean, when you do the calculation, it comes out to be the same.
So
I mean,
you are saying that you have to work to other for you to be qualified to get SNAP.
Right.
You have to at least work 80 hours a
right,
week.
which is
So
equivalent
what you're
to
saying
about
is that
80 hours a month, I mean.
they abused it for years, right?
Yeah, they've been a bit just like welfare and these other
Right.
programs.
So you're saying, okay, if you really need help or assistance, that's what it is, assistance, right? We'll assist you, but you have to do something. And I think it only lasts for like 2 years now.
So why they don't do that with welfare too?
Yeah, all of these stuff.
I mean, eventually you might eventuate to that.
I mean, that's if they're gonna apply it. I think they should have applied to welfare first because that's the big one where people abuse the system. That's the main one they abuse. I mean, these other programs, to what I've known, they are like secondary that came
It doesn't
off.
apply to people who are handicapped and like senior citizens and veterans.
Yeah, I mean, it should
You qualify
for those
regardless.
people. It
Right.
should be isolated for them.
And
But
I
you-
agree.
right.
I agree.
You have people who are 18, well, 21, 25, and they purposely, things happen in life, circumstances happen in life, we get that.
Right.
But when you have people are premeditated to live on the system and
30 years.
for 30, 40 years, and then for them to stay on it, they just dishing out kids. Because that's one of the gateway of keeping you on the welfare
right,
system.
I've seen that.
And certain cultures, I'm not gonna call a name, but certain cultures, they're known to doing that, to
Call it
stay
name,
on to stay to stay on these programs. And it's really sad because other people out there who really need the help. These people are strong, grown back. I've seen grown back ladies and males or whatever the case may can go out there and do stuff. And they just I don't know. But again, they did say that this system was
The program is
designed
called SNAP.
to keep black people down.
I disagree.
How so?
So, case in
The,
point,
the majority of people that were
That's going to benefit from it.
is white people
Right.
or white women.
well, according to them, I mean, how they drafted up, they said, well, the structure is that when people start on educating themselves, if you keep people at home and put them in a
It's
comfort
just
zone,
laziness, bro.
and you put them in a comfort
The
zone,
syndrome too. 'Cause you get generational.
they don't have
generational of
time
that.
to do any reading. They don't have time to
Say what? Say-
excel
I don't buy
themselves.
that.
No, say
I
again.
don't buy
Say again,
that.
please.
No, I'm saying that according to what they said about this welfare
Who's they?
system, people out there who talks and saying, even there was one case where I read maybe a few years ago where
Mikey, who's they, Mikey?
the welfare
know.
system was designed to hold
Who's
on
they?
minorities, whether it's black, Spanish. Or
I
whatever the case
totally
may-
I totally agree with you. Because at first they were capping people's contribution to their benefits. Like if you were making over a certain amount of money per month, you wouldn't be qualified anymore.
Mhm.
Which essentially disincentivized a lot of people from actually going out there and earning their full potential. You know, because
And that is the thing, and because if you in a comfort zone, you're not gonna want to go out there and
Mike and I, we see it all
excel
the time.
yourself.
Right? Certain people can work certain amount of hours. 'Cause if they work past certain amount of hours, their benefits are going to get cut.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
which I think
Listen, I don't have any issue with
Oh, but
people
it
who are
creates- it
working
creates-
and
it-
get assistance. Right?
I mean, you have people who works, and even though they are working, they can't meet the criteria in life to support themselves and to support them family, and that's what I
in
mentioned
that sense it
before.
would be valid.
And that's what I said before. You have people out there who really needs it, who really would benefit from these programs.
Right, I'm not opposed to
but
that.
you have people out there, and probably majority of them out there, that abuse the system, that